What's going on YouTube? In this tutorial, I just want to talk a bit about some things that I would try and the thought process that I would go through if I have a formula that's not working to try to figure out what's causing it to cause it to not work. Here we have a function where we have max ifs, right? And it's giving me a value error. For some reason, it can't find the value of Andrew that I am looking for. And value error just usually means that, it's just can't find what you're looking for. Now, one thing to note is that, troubleshooting stuff in Excel, admittedly, it's an annoying pain in the butt most of the time, but, hopefully this will help you think through some things you could try. Use some ideas of things that you could try to help figure out what might be going wrong. So, first thing I would do is I would just look at the function itself, right? So we have function f2, and here we have max ifs, and as you can see, it's right now it is referencing a cell that is blank. So of course it's not going to find anything that is blank, right? So let's just say I put a Monday right here, right? Control C, Control V, and then now function F2, here, run the formula. It's still not working. Okay. Now I'm going to see if the formula is written right. One thing to note is that with a lot of functions in Excel, like if you're using multiple arguments, so you have to make sure it's where everything kind of lines up. You want your stuff, try to think of your stuff as like a square or a rectangle if you're using something with multiple arguments. So here we can see, so what I mean by that is, for example, the range we're searching for the max, right, is from D4 to R10. That said, we want to make sure that our rows are going from 4 to 10, which they are, and then that our columns are going from the same length as well too. So we say these are going from D to R, and these are going from D to R. Okay, so that checks out. In E14, we're referencing this Monday, and the E13 is referencing Andrew. Okay, so that checks out, but that's always something to check. Maybe these values aren't numbers. That's another thing I like to check too. Sometimes when you have data coming in from another data source, it will just like not be numbers. It's copying and pasting the values, it might just not be numbers. So to do this, I do equals this number. And I just grab, looking for Andrew and Monday, why not just go right here? Okay, so that's true. Go over here, what's like on this Monday, say, is this a number? That's true. This odd number won't find it. And then just go through, Control C, Control V, and as we can see, this appears to be numbers, and as you can see, the falses start where we have blank cells, or there's a number function. But it looks like everything we have is numbers, which is something good to check, just to make sure that everything is numbers. Then, after this, I like to see one of two things. One, I will trace dependence to say, okay, so is this pointing to the right thing? You can go to formulas, right over here to trace dependence. And as you can see, nothing is depending on this, but you can trace precedence to see what this is depending on. And this is good because you can see, okay, so is this pointing to what I think it should be pointing to? If you're trying to work through a circular reference error right now, you can kind of better visually see, like, okay, okay, what's causing this error? You can more visually see, are there multiple things pointing to the same cell? Looking at this, nothing really looks wrong. So we're just gonna remove arrows. Okay. After this, I like to go through and see, well, what is it pulling the right thing? To do this, you can just go into the function and highlight the different pieces of it and go to function F9 to see, okay, and I say function F9, by the way, I'm on a laptop right now. If you're on a PC, you can just press F9. I'm doing function F9. Yeah. So you can see, because I'm on my laptop, so you can see, okay, what is this pulling? Is this pulling what I think it should? Nothing actually looks off. Control Z. You go, but after you do function F9, you're gonna want to do Control Z instead of an enter, but it doesn't save as a text. So it doesn't save as text. Right, D to R2, function F9. Yeah, nothing looks wrong here. So Control Z, and then so on and so forth until I walk through the entire function. Again, nothing necessarily looks off from there. Okay, so next thing I would do is I would go through and click Evaluate Formula. And we go to Formulas, Formula Auditing, Evaluate Formula. And here you can get a better idea of what's returning what. So you can step in and say, okay, this is evaluated Monday. It's not the best, but it's something to look at though, to see if it is getting what you would like it to pull. As you can see, nothing looks bad, and then you get range of value error. So that's not as necessarily hopeful as I would hope for. Um, you can also do error check, click error checking, and then you get help on this error. Show calculation step, ignore error, or edit in formula bar. Um, so some different things that you can try to get around the error and work through that. Now, next, something that I would try as well too, as you can see, so nothing looks off from what we've seen so far, yet it's giving me a value error, right? After this, I would try to take steps to rewrite part of the function. If it's a long function, you can get the function, break it apart into multiple pieces, and then figure out, rewrite different parts of the function. For this, it's a pretty short function, so we can try to write it. First off, try different variations of the function if it's possible. A lot of times it's not, but for the max if and the min ifs, there's different variations, so you can do sum ifs, so returning a value, max if, average ifs, just to see if there's something wrong with the function, and it's not. So now I'm going to try to rewrite the, not what I'm going to try to, is to try to copy and paste the search criteria. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Sometimes your search criteria has like a space in it if you're just typing it. Um, and it can cause an error. Now, none of that works, so I'm just going to try to rewrite part of this function um, on a smaller set. So, max range, I'm just going to pull the first couple of days. The criteria, range 1, I'm going to do Andrew. Criteria 1 is this. Now, I'm doing it on a smaller set of data because I just want to see if I can get this to work at all. If this works on this, I can then say, hey, I probably screwed up somewhere and expand it out. This is still returning a value error. Okay, well, now what if I just manually type in Andrew? Would that work? And this is still returning a value error. Now, what if I try the criteria to be Sunday? Wait, Monday instead. Max ifs, max range. Okay, so now the Andrew criteria is not working, right? Maybe it's just the maybe just Andrew criteria and not the other criteria. So criteria range 1, criteria 1 is still returning a value error. That said, I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this more. Honestly, I'm not sure what's causing this to be what it is. But I just kind of want to walk you through some thoughts that I have when I'm walking through some errors in Excel. So I hope you found this to be useful. If you'd like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.